It all started with my grandmother. She was born a bit before World War II. She grew up with a scarcity of everything: food, raw materials, clothes, everything. Therefore, she had to consider waste as a resource. When I grew up, she was my tailor. She made me my dresses, my coats, my jumpers, even knitted some of them during winter. I spent countless hours standing on the kitchen tables, avoiding to get hurt by needles during very, very, very long fittings. I grew up being her model, her guinea pig, and I was mesmerized by her skills. One day, she taught me her magic. She showed me what is upcycling. We transform my grandpa's grown pants into a 50s dress. It was astonishing, and I kept it as a talisman. Once I learned, I couldn't stop making dresses for my lucky dolls. I became the Karl Lagerfeld of my Barbies. Under her supervision, we made my clothes. I chose the fabrics, added funny details, and wore them proudly at school. 10 years later, during my exchange program in Brazil, I saw craftsmen selling in the street lovely wallets and other items made out of plastic or paper trash. I was amazed by their capacity to create something new without using anything else, with only trash. Upcycling was everywhere because it was a necessity. When I came back to France, I went to Paris, and at that time, I was dressing up myself 5 or 6 times a day. I couldn't stop making new outfits for me, but also for video clips, for plays, for short movies. I really needed to match my passion for fashion with upcycling. So, I naturally turned to thrift shops, the first door open to circular fashion. There, I received a real education, first based on vintage fashion, then merchandising, and my favorite part, image consulting. But then, I was missing something. I was looking for more social and environmental impact, so I applied for a job in a ressourcerie. The concept of those non-profit organizations is simple. People like you and me bring what they don't use anymore, and the staff collects, weighs, cleans, and resells at very low prices. The objective is to reduce the tonnage of waste buried or incinerated on land. Just to give you an idea, in one day, one single day, in only one ressourcerie, in only one town, in only one country, I saw more than 300 kilos of textiles collected. And in those textiles, there was surprisingly a lot of them in very good condition. So I went to my boss and said, let's open a circular fashion shop. She said, why not? And my hobby became my job. This little boutique I ran for 3 years. I figured out that it was a powerful tool to alert customers about our garment consumption and where they're gonna end up. I spent 3 years repeating, don't throw it away, because away doesn't exist. Anyway, my purpose is not to blame anybody, because we are all guilty, and me first, as many other fashion addicts. And I will not repeat that the fashion industry is the second most polluting industry right after oil. And I will not repeat that the conditions of the workers in the fashion industry are terrible. But I did it. And you heard it so much this year, because finally and hopefully it is topical. Here are the key numbers about what urged us to find solutions. First, 70% of the garments we're producing are made out of polyester, and so oil. 30% of the groundwater of China are polluted by chemicals used in the fashion industry. Can you imagine, like, to make your jeans, mine, a jeans, it takes 10,000 liters of water. So, to make 100 jeans, it takes an Olympic swimming pool. 80 billion of garments are produced each year, and it keeps rising. And perhaps the worst part of it is 70% of our dressings, our closets, is not worn. There is a lot of waste, treasures, and cash sleeping in there. Overwhelmed by the textile mountain, I really asked myself why we are producing more and more and more instead of reusing them. I got into it, and I started my own brand based on upcycling principle used in social workshops in France. I called it les récupérables. The recoverables, it means that fashion industry can and has to recover. Well, my first creation was a jacket. I swapped the sleeves of a leather jacket and a full printed one, and I called it Versus. Fashion is all about communication. Looking back, I realized that I was very inspired by Jean-Paul Gaultier when I sewed canvas on the back of luxury jackets to hide stains. And I was experiencing a lot close diversion. The master, Marcin Margiela, was not far from it. But then I really wanted to create my own design. So I had to learn, and this is a big chapter, I will not get into it. But I realized that the linen and vintage linen was the perfect fabric, because it's big enough to put the pattern on, and I was fond of flowers print. That's how my love story with skirting began. Gone with the wind, I get in contact with collecting depots like Anaïs, Le Relais, they are big collectors of textile, and I started partnership with them and purchased the second-hand raw materials. The first time I went there, I was in Wonderland. And the most exciting part is I will never know what I'm gonna find. To check if the linen will be soft enough for your skin, I usually feel it on my lips. This kind of sourcing is very challenging. Holes, stains, low quality are my enemies, but I find freedom in constraints. Therefore, I had to develop a concept. For example, I designed a pants that comes in different fabrics according to what I found. And that's the same principle for all of my designs. Retro modern, timeless, and couture shapes are the DNA of my brand. Because I don't want them remaining in your closets, I don't compromise on comfort. And because I don't want them remaining in your closets, I design them to last. By definition, my garments comes in limited edition. Each woman can look like herself. One question. Why ethical, sustainable, whatever you want, why ethical fashion has to be ugly? Really, that's the point. You can forget about Peruvian caps and monastic dresses. This era is over. There are new brands offering gorgeous products. Look at Veja, Patagonia, Fever-Tree, guided by transparency and social and environmental impact. They show the path and inspire mass markets. That's true that fashion industry is facing big challenges to improve their whole supply chain, and it's not, to make it cleaner and more transparent. Marketing departments took this trend very seriously, but we have to beware of greenwashing. And the good news is customers have the power, because when you're paying with your credit cards, it's like you're voting. The first step we can do all together is buy less, choose well, and make it last, as Vivienne Westwood said. My brain became a solution, part of the problem, and is growing. So I had to diversify sourcing. The key was scraps, dead stock, leftovers like the fabric of my pants, non-conforming materials. So I opened my computer and made a spreadsheet on Excel to list the French textile factories, workshops, and even brands to offer them to give a second life to their waste. My brain became a solution for their corporate social and environmental responsibility. I have a dream that one day all waste will be upcycled and recycled. Plastic bottles in shoes, garments in garments, fishing nets in swimming suits. Upcyclers and recyclers like me will have succeeded. Have you read this amazing book, Cradle to Cradle? It has changed my vision. They're giving a lot of positive examples of how we can live, produce, work in a circular way. Easy. And they really in-phase eco-conception, and that's the future. Now, think about a gorgeous flowers printed dress that you love so much. But one day it's really too warm. What if you could bury it into your garden and let flowers growing out of it? Thank you.